Chapter 41. Leakage. It was definitely a leakage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations. Wen Chan was a legendary reporter in the entertainment industry. He had no resources but somehow was the mastermind behind the juicy articles of many superstars. Recently, he exposed a male superstar's visit to a dirty massage parlor. When the news had been exposed to everyone, it caused a great uproar and a lot of netizens were furious. Then, the situation went haywire because of the netizens' crazy pursuit which twisted the facts of what had happened. Meanwhile, Wen Chan couldn't be bothered with what was happening because he received a large sum of money. But the people within the entertainment industry all knew that this superstar really went to a dirty massage parlor. Today, Wen Chan was full of zest because he had wanted to expose another piece of juicy news. It was something he had prepared for a long time. He believed that it would definitely cause another uproar if it was reported. He laughed out loud as he thought of becoming more famous. In front of his computer, Wen Chan uploaded all the evidence from his USB into the computer. As long as he had the evidence, the person he was going to expose would have no way to deny it. Upload completed. With a click of his mouse, the big piece of news was uploaded onto the internet. 2 hours later, Wen Chan kept refreshing Baidu and the nosy reporters group that he was in. Especially when he saw the nosy reporters reading the news, he smirked. Brother Wen, impressive. It's a brilliant piece of news. Brother Wen, is this real? Make sure it doesn't end up as an unexpected mistake. I, Wen Chan, have so many years of good reputation. Since when have I made any mistakes? Wen Chan replied. Then, Wen Chan went to look at his own Weibo, but he became a little doubtful as there was something wrong with the situation. When this piece of news was uploaded, it would definitely become the top searched result on Weibo. However, Wen Chan was shocked as it was only the third most searched result. That was impossible. This was especially so because he had not heard of the first two headlines before. What the great master predicted about Chen Yu and Tian Xin 6 days ago. Just one prediction and it caused Zhou Liyun to miss the fashion show. What the hell are these? Wen Chan scolded in anger. Then, he clicked on the two headlines and was shocked. It must have been a leakage. How could anyone have predicted this? Then, when Wen Chan took a look at his own Weibo comments, he exploded with rage. ENV didn't expect Master Lin to have predicted it correctly. It's unbelievable. It's definitely a big piece of news, but I don't understand how Master Lin could be so powerful. Damn it, I was still raging when I saw the comments on Master Lin's page. Didn't expect to have it hit myself in the face. Wen Chan almost spat out blood when he saw that at least 8 out of 10 discussion threads were about Master Lin. His work had been nullified by Master Lin. Wen Chan couldn't take it anymore and started scolding on Weibo. At fortune teller old driver Master Lin. Shameless F***, how dare you steal my news? I have been following it for half a year now. Just wait for a letter from my lawyer. Wen Chan couldn't tolerate it anymore as he scolded profusely. After a while when he had settled down, he was stunned. Does this chap really not know who I am? Plus, my documents are only kept in the USB to prevent any hackers from stealing it. How did this guy obtain the information? Could it be his wife that leaked the news? Wen Chan began to overthink. Lin Fan's Weibo had erupted with comments. What the hell, Master Lin actually got it right. Master Lin, I was wrong. I shouldn't have flamed you along with those ignorant fools. Carrot, can you be any more shameless? It was clearly you who led the haters to flame him. From today, I only admire Master Lin and nobody else. I'm pleading and begging for Master Lin's address. I want to visit him personally. Lin Fan's Weibo has had many netizens' close attention, but instead of a large number of them flaming him, it was now full of praises. He's indeed a god. When Autumn Swordfish Killer saw the piece of news, his face changed. How could it be so accurate? For Zhou Liyun to miss out on the fashion show, that was considered to be a lucky guess. But for this piece of news, it was so unbelievable that it completely stunned Autumn Swordfish Killer. This. When Autumn Swordfish Killer saw Wen Chan's Weibo, his eyes lit up. Leakage, it must have been a leakage. Then, Autumn Swordfish Killer immediately called his fanboys to attack Lin Fan's Weibo. Autumn Swordfish Killer hated Master Lin to the core. It was Lin Fan who caused him to be embarrassed on several occasions. It was all because of him that caused him to rage on so many occasions and even had a pimple outbreak on his face. Everything was caused by that B** starred. Inside the shop, Lin Fan looked at his Weibo. Regarding these discussions, he had already predicted it before. The Autumn Swordfish Killer trolls kept pestering Lin Fan, which caused him a lot of trouble, but it only lasted for a while. But what's with this Wen Chan threatening to send me his lawyer's letter? That's crazy. I had predicted everything on my own. Ring, someone had messaged him on Weixin. Master Lin, you're too good. You really predicted it. To think that Wen Chan said you stole the information, how shameless. Chen Xine sent him 2 Weixin texts. Chen Xine was shocked at how Lin Fan had predicted accurately. But what amused her was that Tian Xian's affair didn't become the top searched news because of Master Lin. People were mostly discussing about Master Lin. They did not say much about Chen Yu and Tian Xian. Perhaps these 2 superstars still couldn't figure out if it was a good thing or a bad thing. Lin Fan then replied, "No worries, the truth will speak for itself." Due to the situation on Weibo, Lin Fan felt that there was a need to send out another Weibo. Everything that was happening involved his popularity. If he could turn it in his favor, then it would have been better. Let the truth speak for itself. Master Lin's predictions are always accurate. Wang Bingyan will have no chance to star in The Forbidden Tomorrow and will be replaced by someone with the surname Yang. The national football team will lose 3.0. Yang Xiaoliang will end up in the hospital after getting beaten up. Lin Fan sent out the posts on Weibo without worrying that he would end up predicting incorrectly. Everything was by the will of the heavens. For the netizens on Weibo, they were all excited about what was about to happen. Chapter 42. Foshan Shadow Kick. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations, what are you looking at? You seem so happy about it. Fraud Tian asked curiously when he saw Lin Fan sprawling himself on the table and laughing to himself. Nothing much, just reading the news. Lin Fan replied. The internet was so amusing, especially Autumn Swordfish Killer's endless pursuit, leading his trolls to scold Lin Fan. This had helped to increase the popularity of his Weibo. Lin Fan did not expect his Weibo to have exploded with such a large influx of people. Based on Zhou Liyun, his Weibo increased to 10,000 followers, and along with Chen Yu's case, it increased by another 20,000 followers. His life was improving so rapidly that he couldn't even handle its progress. Just as Lin Fan was trying to react to this, a woman's voice in a harsh tone could be heard. Fortune.teller, try telling my fortune for me. Lin Fan was playing with his phone, but when he looked up, he was shocked. Oh my God, small world indeed. Fraud Tian was reading his book, and when he saw there was a girl in the room, his face changed. He became more alert. So you guys are here, I've been trying so hard to look for you. The woman with thick make-up had been down with bad luck recently, and she wanted to have a fortune-teller to help her. She became furious as she saw these 2 men in the stall. Zheng Wanqin had been looking for these 2 people. But given the sheer size of Shanghai, it was extremely difficult. Now that she finally found them, she wasn't going to let them off so easily. Zheng Wanqin took out her phone immediately and said, "Brother Jun, come quickly. I found the two guys who kicked me in the *SS that day. After she had hung up the phone, Zheng Wanqin angrily pointed at the two men and said, B*TCH, I'm telling you, you're dead. Babe, you must have misunderstood. I've never met you before. Lin Fan said in disbelief. Lin Fan and Fraud Tian were both weaklings. If they really had to fight, they probably would be badly defeated. Yeah, babe, we are decent people. I see that you're looking ruddy. You must have been having good luck recently. Why not let us have a look at you? Fraud Tian panicked and said. Move aside. Zheng Wanqin kicked Fraud Tian aside and scolded, Old hag, I let you escape the other time. This time you'll see the consequences of kicking my *SS. When Brother Jun is here later, I'll make you kneel down to lick my shoes. Zheng Wanqin had a foul mouth. Streams of vulgarities came out of it the moment she had started talking. Fraud Tian quickly stood up and looked at Lin Fan. We're finished. Lin Fan said. What shall we do later? Fraud Tian asked. How do I know what to do? But let me tell you first, you gotta protect me later. Lin Fan was speechless. He knew that things wouldn't end up well later. How did he not know that he would face a huge disaster today? Ever since he had gotten the encyclopedia, he kept running into problems and there was bloodshed every single time. And from the looks of today's situation, he was afraid that it would be an extremely bloody affair. Zheng Wanqin smiled as she saw that her people had arrived. Then, she immediately brought a man into the room with her and pointed at Lin Fan and Fraud Tian. She said, Brother Jun, it's them. They kicked my *SS that day. Wu Bao Jun was 1.89 m tall. He had a muscular build and a fearsome look. One look at him and you'd know that he wasn't a good guy. Furthermore, Wu Bao Jun was the leader of the gang. Fights were common for them as they demanded debt payment. He was thus very experienced with matters like that. The people in the surrounding area also knew that they shouldn't provoke someone like that. So it's you two B***** who bullied my girlfriend. Wu Bao Jun shouted. His gang then proceeded to block the door. Some of them weren't tall but they stood there proudly with their heads held high as if they were a wild bunch. Brother Jun is talking to you. Are you deaf? A skinny teenager shouted loudly as if he would have punched them if they didn't reply. He was arrogant and wild. Lin Fan did not reply as he was a little nervous. If a fight were to break out, it would have been disastrous. But since they had come to their stall for a fight, they couldn't tolerate it further. If they couldn't win the fight, the least they could do was to look fearless. Brother Jun seemed pretty capable. They were waiting for him to make a move. Hey big brother, don't be angry. We can talk things over nicely. It must be a misunderstanding. Fraud Tian smiled and took out a cigarette pack which cost him $30. Get lost, you dare to take out such a shitty pack of cigarettes. You think we're here to play? The arrogant teenager said angrily and looked as though he was going to beat them up. Suddenly, he slapped Fraud Tian so hard that he fell to the ground. Then, he stepped on the packet of cigarettes and twisted his foot on it. Old hag, speak more nonsense and my boss will break your face, the teenager said arrogantly while pointing at Fraud Tian's nose. Fraud Tian stood up and gently nodded his head. Then, he laughed awkwardly and said, all right, I won't speak anymore. Lin Fan saw how the teenager humiliated Fraud Tian and couldn't tolerate it any further. How dare they bully his people? Even if he couldn't win them in a fight, he had to give his best. F***ck your mother, you dare to bully my friend. I will fight you until the very end. Lin Fan had always been a calm and good-natured person but when it came to this, he had to do something about it. Lin Fan grabbed an ashtray and smashed the teenager's head. However, Lin Fan wasn't quick enough. The experienced teenager reacted in time and shouted, F***ck your mum. As he kicked Lin Fan in his stomach. D***, that was fast. Lin Fan remained in the position which he had first adopted, holding on to the ashtray. He didn't expect this fella to have such quick reactions. F***ck, it's over. Lin Fan screamed. Perhaps it was really going to be a bloody affair. At that instant, he saw a figure move. It was someone's leg kicking at him which suddenly stopped. Someone held on to the teenager's soul. Fraud Tian, you. Lin Fan was shocked. He looked at Fraud Tian and realized that there was something different about Fraud Tian. Fraud Tian suddenly looked very fearsome, much different from his usual self. Meet my Ba Guazhang. I am Tian the 13th, nice to meet you. Snapping sound, the teenager's leg creaked and bent. Afterward, he screamed in pain. When Wu Baojun had witnessed that scene, he was stunned. F***ck. Wu Baojun and his gang members charged forward. But what stood out to Lin Fan was how Fraud Tian could suddenly take on all of them. He actually managed to ground them. D***mn, Fraud Tian, you're insane. That's right, F***ck him up. Lin Fan was shocked at how fearless Fraud Tian had become. He was incredible. The group of macho men was beaten to a pulp. Snapping sound, what the F***ck. Even Lin Fan got scared when he heard the snapping sound. Then, Lin Fan stared at the arrogant teenager. The teenager made eye contact with Lin Fan and still shouted, F***ck your mum, you, despite the fact that he was cold sweating from the pain. Foshan shadow kick. Lin Fan couldn't let the teenager continue his trash talk, he jumped and shouted before kicking him in the face. Ugh! Don't fight anymore, don't fight anymore. Chapter 43. Just too good. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations. A whole lot of people screaming in pain, how miserable. The passers-by were all shocked by the scene in the stall. Was this F***ker filming a movie? He took down more than 10 people on his own, and not to mention that he had completely destroyed them. While he himself wasn't hurt, the people that were lying on the ground were either holding onto their legs or arms, screaming in pain. Fraud Tian exhaled slightly and took a cigarette out of the pocket of the teenager who was still under his feet. He lowered his head and lit it up with a lighter. Then he took a deep breath and exhaled a large amount of smoke. This cigarette tastes good. Fraud Tian closed his eyes and said calmly. D***mn it, he's owning it. Lin Fan looked at Fraud Tian in disbelief. He did not know that there was this side to Fraud Tian. He was actually a martial arts expert. The way he was smoking the cigarette with that hint of tranquility, he gave off the vibes of a highly skilled loner. You guys. Zheng Wanqin looked at the scene and became even paler under her face thick with foundation. I'll take it all out on you. The frightened Zheng Wanqin charged towards Lin Fan while making threatening gestures. Lin Fan was slightly taken aback. But he abruptly raised his head in a ferocious manner with a menacing look. 18 palms of the descending dragon. Slam, remember me. I am also an expert. Do not belittle me. Lin Fan said calmly. The defeated Zheng Wanqin laid there motionlessly. She looked lost but suddenly became very frightened. Then, she started crying. Her thick makeup streamed down her face and she looked like a ghost. The police are here. The surrounding crowd cheered. Sorry, please excuse me. When the police were almost at the scene, Fraud Tian immediately threw his cigarette away and lied on the ground, screaming as he held onto his thigh. Help, the mafia hit me. My leg and my arms are broken. Broken. Lin Fan looked at how Fraud Tian reacted and was completely stunned. It was as if his face had admiration written all over it. Awesome. Then, Lin Fan followed suit. He lied on the ground and pretended to be badly injured. D***. Wu Bao-jun looked at what had happened and started to scold profusely. These people were inhumane. They were the ones who got whacked. What was wrong with them? Lu Xiaotian was praised again by his superior today and he was in a good mood. He had rushed down upon hearing the news of a fight from the public. When he had arrived at the scene, he was shocked. He quickly went forward and asked, "Little boss, what happened to you?" Lin Fan screamed and shouted, but when he heard the familiar voice of Chief Lu, he was secretly ecstatic. "Oh, not bad, it's someone that I know. Chief Lu, these unlawful people came to my shop and whacked my employee and me." Lin Fan acted as he spoke. "Police officer, these people were so arrogant and cocky. They had the cheek to bully such an old man like me in broad daylight. Does the law still exist in this world?" Fraud Tian replied cleverly as he had many years of experience when it came to situations like this. Lu Xiaotian looked at everyone and was taken aback too. He did not know what was going on until he saw Wu Bao-jun. "Wu Bao-jun, what are you up to again? This time you're hitting innocent people in public. Are you trying to provoke us on purpose?" Lu Xiaotian was familiar with Wu Bao-jun. When he was still a city enforcement officer, he knew about this man. Wu Bao-jun and his men had done a lot of bad things. Now that Lu Xiaotian had become a team leader in the police force, he naturally wanted to teach these guys a lesson. "Chief Lu, they're maligning us," Wu Bao-jun cried. "We did not even hit them, it was them who KO'd us. We didn't even have the chance to retaliate. You don't have to say anything. Arrest them all." Lu Xiaotian brushed him aside and went over to Lin Fan. "Little boss, please follow me, along with your employee. Don't worry, we will definitely give you a satisfactory answer." Lu Xiaotian was still a little doubtful about what had happened as he could tell that something was unusual based on the injuries he assessed. But Wu Bao-jun was the leader of a mafia gang and that was a fact. The cases that were on his record could be printed out to be a whole stack of papers. Some crying noises could be heard. The teenager who was really cocky got hit by Lin Fan's Foshan shadow kick and he could barely speak as his face was extremely swollen. He could only make crying noises. At the police station, as it was being handled by Lu Xiaotian, the outcome was quickly determined. Wu Bao-jun and his gang were the ones who started the fight and even injured people. Furthermore, the police had found 6 dangerously sharp blades and tools. The situation looked serious. Lin Fan was barely injured but somehow Fraud Tian's arm and leg were dislocated. When asked if they wanted to pursue the matter further, Wu Bao-jun pleaded in fear. For this incident, it could have been settled privately with money. But if they were to pursue the matter, they could be jailed for 3 months to a year. Also, he had a large number of pending cases. This may cause him to serve an even longer prison sentence. But Lin Fan was a kind-hearted man. He naturally did not pursue the matter and opted for a private settlement. Actually, it was Lu Xiaotian who suggested to Lin Fan to opt for a private settlement. After all, Wu Bao-jun had been around for quite some time. He would have had connections to help him. Hence, there was no need to blow things up to increase the tension between both parties. In the end, they just had to pay $20,000 and Lu Xiaotian got to punish Wu Bao-jun and it served as a warning to prevent him from going overboard. In Wu Bao-jun's heart, he felt that he was innocent. They were actually the victims but they had such a bad criminal record. Lu Xiaotian sent Lin Fan off and at the entrance, he said, "Little boss, my superior wanted me to thank you for the sentence you had written for him." "Alright, that's good. Chief Lu, we shall make a move. Thank you for helping us today." Lin Fan replied. "It's my duty to handle it professionally. Don't mention it." While they're on the way back. "Fraud Tian, you were so good at it. Why didn't you mention this before?" Lin Fan was shocked at how good Fraud Tian was. Previously, Lin Fan had calculated Fraud Tian's fortunes before but did not notice it. Now that Lin Fan had calculated again, he realized that the incidents only happened in the later part of his life which he had missed out on previously. Low-key, I gotta stay low-key. Fraud Tian said calmly, and then he saw the red dollar bills in Lin Fan's hands and said, I helped you a lot today, you see, these $20,000. Fraud Tian rubbed his palms together. He explained that he had worked extremely hard and he deserved to get a share of the money. Of course, if not for you, I would have died today. But look, now that our business is improving, we would have to spend a lot of money in future. So, I'll just give you $1,000 first. As for the remaining amount, I will give it to you at the end of the year with your bonus. Lin Fan painfully removed $1,000 from the initial $2,000 that he had wanted to give Fraud Tian. After giving the money to Fraud Tian, Lin Fan did not give Fraud Tian any opportunity to negotiate. He quickly changed the topic. Fraud Tian, how did you manage to dislocate your arm and leg? That was incredible. Huh, just a small trick. Then. Gradually, they walked further and further. Lin Fan was happy that he managed to change the topic successfully. Chapter 44. They finally believed me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations. What Lin Fan didn't know was that his Weibo had attracted the attention of many people. There were people who just wanted to watch the show. Fanboys, nosy reporters, and superstars. The main thing was that the two major events that Lin Fan had predicted both came true. Although it was still rather controversial, many people were completely in awe of Lin Fan. Lin Fan returned home, opened his Weibo and realized that many people had messaged him privately. Although most of the messages weren't important questions, two of them stood out to Lin Fan. Zhou Li Yun. Fortune. Teller, how did you know that I was going to miss the fashion show? Lin Fan furrowed his brows as he felt that the model had a rather rude tone towards him. Then, Lin Fan immediately replied, please be respectful and call me Master Lin. The other message came from Wen Chan. Who the hell was Wen Chan? Lin Fan wondered but laughed when he saw the message. This was King amusing. You stole my information. I want to sue you. What's your name and address? You shameless thief. Lin Fan replied immediately, full name. Cocky man. Address. North latitude. 39, 54 minutes and 26.37 seconds, longitude. 116 degrees, 23 minutes and 29.22 seconds. Wen Chan was far away in Beijing, staring intently at his computer screen. When he saw the reply, he didn't even realize that it was a joke. Arrogant man. What kind of name is this? Then, he read the message and half smiled. How dare he test my geography skills? He must be asking for trouble. When Wen Chan entered the coordinates on the internet, he started to rage. King dog, what the hell is this Tianan Gate? Then, he looked at his name and raged even more. Just you wait. The next day. When everyone had awoken, Weibo had another piece of shocking news that morning. The great director whose latest film The Forbidden Tomorrow will have the up and rising actress, Yang Tian, taking the lead actress role. Wang Bingyan did not qualify for it. This morning, countless people were shocked at what they had seen on their phones. They felt that the world has gone a little mad. It's accurate again. It's really accurate again. Then, many netizens flooded Lin Fan's Weibo, leaving a large number of comments. Master Lin, I'm on all fours. Too accurate, just too accurate. Divine Fortune. Teller, please tell me your address. I have to visit you personally. D*mn, D*mn, D*mn. I'm too emotional and speechless. I've lost my admiration for everyone in this world except Lin Fan. I only hope Wang Bingyan is alright. She got dumped just like that despite her fiery affair with Hu De. When the news had been published, the superstar Wang Bingyan freaked out completely. Normally for news like this, even if it wasn't predicted, it would still cause some uproar. But now this news had become the third most searched article. The main reason was probably Master Lin's prediction. 3 out of 3 predictions came true. The internet had gone wild. Master Lin, don't let me find out your identity, the pretty Wang Bingyan said angrily as she held on to her phone, wearing her pajamas. When everyone was still freaking out over this news article, another one came along. The national football team got thrashed 3.0. It came true again. It shocked a countless number of people once again. Some were big fans of the national football team didn't know about Master Lin's prediction. But as they were searching on the internet, they stumbled upon his prediction about the game. Many fans were unclear of what was going on, but when they saw the prediction, they started to complain. D*MN, exactly the same. If I had known, I would have bet more money. Filled with regret, no affinity to win. Thanks, Master Lin. Your prediction allowed me to earn so much money. What the hell, Carrot, you're so lucky. The person who was the most shocked was Autumn Sword Fish Killer. He had sworn to give his whole life to the internet and he was busy every day. He had to clean up the mess of so many scandals. And after finishing with one, he often rewards himself. He made a bowl of instant noodles and added 2 eggs. It was kind of a luxury to Autumn Sword Fish Killer. Autumn Sword Fish Killer had saved a considerable amount of money from his profession but was a thrifty man. He used to date girls but he always broke up with them in the end. Even he knew that the main reason for his breakups was his lack of time. But regarding these, Autumn Sword Fish Killer did not take it to heart. He had given his entire life to the internet and he wasn't particularly bothered about other stuff as he still had his loyal hand to accompany him. The piping hot noodles were delicious. Autumn Sword Fish Killer opened his Weibo while he was eating. Let's see how badly my trolls destroyed your Weibo, Master Lin. When Autumn Sword Fish Killer had refreshed Lin Fan's Weibo, he was dumbfounded. The entire page was filled with good reviews and comments. The number of people commenting actually added up to over 700,000. There were many familiar usernames, weren't they his trolls? He had wanted them to flame Lin Fan's Weibo, but why did they cover up the mess instead? Just when Autumn Sword Fish Killer angrily opened his chat group and was prepared to give his orders, the content in the group stunned him. This Master Lin is so D*MN accurate. I believed him and bet 3.0 on the game and won a sum of money for myself. Awesome, this divine fortune teller actually predicted Wang Bingyan missing out on her main role and the loss of the national football team. How could anyone not believe him? Autumn Sword Fish Killer opened the relevant web pages after reading the messages. He jumped when he saw the 2 headlines. Autumn Sword Fish Killer jumped and screamed, unknowingly flipping over his bowl of noodles over his crotch. Boiled mushroom. In reference to his genitals, too good. Lin Fan was in his stall laughing at his own Weibo. Everything was developing according to his plan. He just had to wait for his popularity to reach a certain level before he could start on his work officially. Then, he can finally send out his address to get endless customers. Then, his second task would have been completed. He wondered what was on the 3rd page of the encyclopedia. He was looking forward to it. Then, he realized that most of the Weibo discussions were all asking the same question. Master Lin, will the handsome Yang Xiaoliang really be beaten up till he ends up in the hospital? Same, I wanna know too. Yang Xiaoliang so disgusting. If he really ends up in the hospital, I will become a loyal fan of Master Lin. But some of the discussion threads amused Lin Fan. Those were created by the fans of Yang Xiaoliang, used to diss Master Lin. You're the one that's gonna get beaten up. F***ck your whole family, I hope they get beaten up. Bunch of ID**OTS. My idol Liang Liang is so handsome, you bunch of ugly fools are just jealous of him. Lin Fan wasn't even bothered by those threats. He sent out a message on Weibo. For the last event, just wait and see. Master Lin has never predicted wrongly before. Lin Fan didn't care about who he had offended. His shop had a pro fighter, whoever comes to cause trouble would know of his power. Chapter 45. There isn't a problem. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 45. There isn't a problem. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations, is your phone really that fun to play with? You're laughing at it every day. Is there a secret that you're hiding? Fraud Tian was extremely bored, and when he saw Lin Fan laughing at his phone, he got a little suspicious. Lin Fan looked at him and asked, "Don't you have a phone?" Lin Fan was speechless as he saw Fraud Tian whipping out a Nokia from his pocket. He continued to play with his phone. The Weibo discussions amused Lin Fan. It was as if he had been fishing for a long time, waiting for the fishes to be hooked before he kept the entire net of fishes. His Weibo fanbase increased to 1.2 million people. Then, Lin Fan saw a suspicious-looking young adult just outside his stall. "Bro, come have a seat inside." Fraud Tian didn't wait for Lin Fan to say anything as he took the opportunity to invite a customer in. "Tea for you. Or water?" Lu Ziyi was a little overwhelmed by his hospitality. He said, "No need for that. Bro, from the look on your face it seems like you haven't been having a good love life." Lu Ziyi got nervous and wanted to leave. But when he heard that sentence, he was stunned. Lin Fan laughed in his heart and raised the teacup. He said, "I know your past life and your present. You're fated to have entered my shop. Care for me to tell your fortune?" Lu Ziyi was a student in one of the schools nearby. He had been feeling troubled lately due to fights with his girlfriend. Fights between a couple were normal and easy to settle with a little bit of sweet talk, but this time, something major happened. "Master, count me in, but before that, let me tell you what happened." Lu Ziyi wanted to confide in someone. "It's okay, I don't need to know anything to tell your fortune," Lin Fan said confidently. "Okay." Lu Ziyi was stunned and he showed a doubtful look. Lin Fan cleared his throat and said, "Your girlfriend is called Lu Yijie." "Wow, master, you could tell my girlfriend's name." Lu Ziyi was stunned. "No, I meant your ex-girlfriend, not your current one. Hope you remember that," Lin Fan said. Lu Ziyi awkwardly lowered his head. There was nothing he could say. "The reason for the matter was due to your pettiness." "For this?" Lin Fan wanted to continue but Lu Ziyi stopped him. "Master, let's not talk about that. Could you tell me what should I do? I am remorseful and I know that I was too petty. That guy was her childhood friend and he sought her opinion when he was buying a pair of shoes, but I wasn't comfortable with that, so." Lu Ziyi felt even more regretful as he continued. If he had a Pandora's box, he would have jumped into it to travel back in time and not reacted in that way. Lin Fan didn't expect himself to become a love guru, but he still had to help him out. This chap apologized so many times but wasn't forgiven. It probably happened more than just once or twice. "You don't have to say any more, I know everything. From your looks, I could tell that this affinity between you and her isn't over yet. It all depends on you," Lin Fan said calmly. "What should I do then?" Lu Ziyi impatiently asked. Then, the sound of the fruit stall vendor shouting could be heard. "Boss, give me 2 durians." Lin Fan shouted. "All right." Lu Ziyi witnessed the scene and finally understood. He slapped his thigh and said, "Master, I understand now. How could I not think of it? My girlfriend loves durians and I'll buy 2 for her as my apology. She will definitely forgive me. Thank you, master. Thank you. Lin Fan was stunned but he waved his hands at him and said, these aren't for consumption. It's for you to kneel on. Lu Ziyi was stupefied when he heard what Lin Fan said. He touched the spikes of the durian and retracted his hands. It hurt him. I have helped you with your problem, as for whether it works out, it's up to you now. Alright, the session's over. You have your answer now. Lin Fan looked through Lu Ziyi's entire life. That type of method of apology was going to be common for him in the future. Using it earlier without harming him. Master, I understand now. How much is it? Lu Ziyo said firmly. It's fate that you're here. How much do you reckon it costs? Just give based on your gut feeling. Lin Fan said as if he didn't care about the money. It was as if he had become a true divine fortune teller. Lu Ziyi took out his wallet and took out $200 from it. But when he saw Master Lin furrowing his brows, he thought of his words again. Give as much as you think it's worth. If you used money to measure the relationship between my girlfriend and me, it would have to be priceless. Then, Lu Ziyi poured out all his money and left only 2 coins for himself to take the public bus home. But after further thought, he didn't even keep the coins. Master, as long as she forgives me, this fortune-telling session is priceless. Everything's for you. Lu Ziyi said with determination. There's no need for that, at least keep your travel fees. Lin Fan pushed $5 to him. No need, master. Lu Ziyi replied. Alright, go then. Lin Fan felt that it was pointless to fight over the money. Then, he kept all the money and waved his hands. After Lu Ziyi left. What the, you really took everything? Fraud Tian said in disbelief. He didn't expect him to be worse than himself. That's not wrong. If I hadn't given him my advice, he would have basically lost his girlfriend. Then, he would have used the money on alcohol to drown his sorrows, then be on a drip in the hospital. The fees would have been more than this. If he was to find a new girlfriend, he would end up spending even more. I'm just helping him to save money. Lin Fan said firmly. Fraud Tian thought about it for a while and agreed with Lin Fan's words. That expanded his knowledge. Meanwhile, on a plane that's about to take off. A skinny and fair man wearing a pair of sunglasses was feeling worried. The beautiful ladies beside him were all discussing. The man was the handsome young Xiaoliang who had a huge fan base. He was initially part of a boy band but he withdrew from it. Due to his good looks, he won the hearts of many girls. No matter where he went, girls were all big fans of him. He acted in a few films which didn't require much skill. He just had to memorize the script and didn't have to worry about the acting part. In the outside world, he had a nickname, Handicapped Handsome. But to his fans, they were all defending his acting skills. They believed that he was just playing it cool. Young Xiaoliang was getting a little nervous. He turned to his agent and said, the Weibo Master Lin predicted that I would be beaten up and end up in the hospital. Young Xiaoliang did not believe in him initially, but after witnessing that all the predictions had come true, he was a little afraid. Liang, don't worry. It's all a hoax. When you exit the airport later, the agency has employed a large number of bodyguards that will definitely ensure your safety and not let anyone near you, his agent said. That's good. Young Xiaoliang sighed in relief. If he was to be beaten up, he would end up looking horrendous. In the airport hall. His fans gathered in front of the arrival hall and waved their large signboards and shouted, Liang. Some of the fangirls even kneeled down and cried, expressing their happiness after seeing their favorite idol, Liang. Young Xiaoliang enjoyed such an atmosphere. This is how you welcome a superstar. Even those international superstars couldn't compare to him. Chapter 46 A bloody affair. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations. The fans charged forward ferociously. Their facial expressions looked even more excited and emotional than that if they were to meet their families for the first time in 30 years. Yang Xiaoliang would usually go forward to sign a few autographs when faced with such passionate fans. But it was different now. Yang Xiaoliang was afraid that a fan would punch him in his face, given Master Lin's prophecy. The hired bodyguards were really serious. They formed a wall around Yang Xiaoliang, blocking the fans from going up close to him. Yang Xiaoliang awkwardly smiled and waved his hands up high. He wanted to leave the place quickly. The reporters wanted to ask him some questions but weren't able to reach him due to the bodyguards. The reporters had an important task at hand, which was to find out if Yang Xiaoliang would end up in the hospital after he got beaten up. It wasn't just the reporters who wanted to know, but the netizens were also concerned with it. But from the looks of it, it seemed impossible. The bodyguards protected Yang Xiaoliang so closely that even a housefly couldn't fly through to reach him, not to mention a human beating him up. Haha, the prediction about me getting beaten up. How hilarious. Yang Xiaoliang laughed as he was about to leave the airport. It's not funny. Suddenly, Yang Xiaoliang's face changed, as if he saw a ghost. You. B*tch, return my daughter back to me. Then, the bodyguard in front turned behind and punched Yang Xiaoliang in his face. Bang! Yang Xiaoliang fell heavily onto the ground. Just because you wanted to become famous, you dumped my pregnant daughter and caused her to commit suicide. I'll break your face, the muscular man said. Then, he started to step on his face. D*mn. The scene had become chaotic. Countless reporters rushed over and continuously snapped their cameras. Breaking news indeed. Yang Xiaoliang really got beaten up and it looked quite serious. Yang Xiaoliang's agent screamed in horror, "Quick, help!" The other bodyguards hurried to help him. They had known that this was going to happen but they had to hide it from everyone just for the bodyguard to take revenge. Don't hit him anymore. We'll cover you. Or else, these fans are going to murder you. The bodyguards saw that Yang Xiaoliang was already badly injured. They immediately protected him by covering him with their bodies. The fans went crazy. Their idol Yang Liang had been beaten up. They panicked badly when they saw his bloody face. They wanted to take it out on the bodyguard who had hit him but the other bodyguards protected him from the fans. The reporters were shocked and they saw the state that Yang Xiaoliang was in. They hurried to the bodyguard who had beaten him up. Why did you beat him up? You said Yang Xiaoliang dumped your daughter for fame. What exactly happened? The reporters went wild. They were consecutively getting so many pieces of breaking news. They had to find out more, they had to do it. Yang Xiaoliang was just lying there as if he had just died from the injuries. I'm disfigured. Yang Xiaoliang's thought, right before he fainted. On the way to a hospital in Shanghai. Meanwhile, Lu Ziyi was carrying 2 durians as he made his way quickly to his girlfriend's hostel. He knew that Ye Jia was watching her drama in her hostel. He had to get past the hostel caretaker before he could enter the place. He managed to convince her by sweet-talking his way through. Lu Yejia was playing computer games but was feeling rather low. Lu Ziyi was incorrigible, he did not trust her and even fought with her childhood friend. How embarrassing. She even praised her boyfriend in front of him before, she didn't expect it to backfire so quickly. Yejia, are you really not going to forgive him? Her roommate asked. Ugh. It's not so easy this time. He saw my messages and fought with my childhood friend. It's so embarrassing. Plus, he doesn't even trust me. He's lucky that I'm even in love with him, he looks like an ostrich. An ostrich doesn't even trust me, how infuriating. Lu Yejia said angrily. It's okay for him to be tensed over things like this. After all, he's your boyfriend, the roommate said. I don't care about others, but he must trust me. Lu Yijie replied. But I heard someone from the next class likes him, aren't you afraid? The roommate said. I can confidently say that he doesn't dare to cheat on me. That's true. Ding dong, coming. Who is it? Her roommate said as she hurried to the door. When she saw the person standing outside, she was shocked. Why are you here? Lu Yijie got angry when she saw who was at the door. Why are you here? I thought we already broke up. Then, he saw the plastic bags in Lu Ziyi's hand and laughed. Do you think I'd forgive you just because you bought me durians? Dream on. Lu Ziyi kept quiet and placed the durians firmly on the ground. Then, he took a deep breath. To the horror of Lu Yijie and her roommate, he kneeled on the durians. It's so painful. He didn't know it would hurt so badly until the moment he kneeled on them. The hard and sharp edges of the durian skin pierced his knees. It was so painful that he almost fainted. Yijie, I was wrong. Please give me another chance. If I'm still so petty in future. What? You still want it to happen again? Lu Ziyi was interrupted by Lu Yijie. Lu Ziyi realized that he had said the wrong thing and quickly shook his head. No more next time, no more. This is the last time. I promise I will change and not doubt you again in future. What? Doubt? Why would you doubt me? No doubt, I won't doubt you. It's all my fault for being so petty. Lu Ziyi continued to shake his head as he replied. Her roommate was full of admiration for Lu Ziyi for what he was doing. Yijie, look, just give him another chance, the roommate said. Given what Ziyi was doing, Lu Yijie's anger had simmered. I can forgive you, but you must write an agreement to certify your words as well as apologize to my childhood friend. Can you do it? Yes, of course. Lu Ziyi nodded and replied. All right, I'll give you another chance. Stand up then. Lu Ziyi sighed in relief as he heard her reply. Then, he involuntarily said, the master was indeed accurate. Lu Yijie was stunned by what he had said. She asked, what master? Nothing, there's no master. Tell me. Lu Yijie said angrily, leaving Lu Ziyi with no choice but to reply. When Lu Ziyi had explained everything, Lu Yijie shouted, continue to kneel on the durians. Did your IQ become negative after I left you? Are you stup *D? Lu Ziyi was speechless. Meanwhile, Weibo was a mess. Master Lin's Weibo was the scene's main focus again. Countless netizens started to believe in him. On the outside, Autumn Sword Fish Killer seemed like he was not convinced, but he actually started to believe in Master Lin. The truth just hit him in his face. But since he had gone so far, he couldn't turn back anymore. He had to preserve his dignity and pride. Chapter 47. You can do it if you're so good. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations on the train. The townsfolk had their heads down and were using their phones when suddenly, someone cried out loud. Yang Xiaoliang really got beaten up. That can't be, where did you hear this from? It's trending on Weibo. It's already been the top trending topic for a while. I'll go and take a look. As of today, the hottest topic of discussion on Weibo was Master Lin's predictions. Among these predictions, the one that caught the most attention was the one involving Yang Xiaoliang. Trending on Weibo. Those eager reporters took photos of Yang Xiaoliang getting beaten up and uploaded them to Weibo. The netizens went crazy. It looks so cruel, why are we so excited? Big news. A local male idol has suffered from facial disfigurement. Where did this Master Lin come from? His predictions are too good. Everyone, go and check out Master Lin's Weibo. It's been invaded by the local male idols fangirls. D*MN, Master Lin must be some kind of deity. Lin Fan scrolled through his Weibo. What the H*CK are they blaming me for? I'm not the one who got him beaten up. These fangirls are way too scary. Lin Fan had already expected to receive countless praise and compliments, but to his surprise, there were also a bunch of fangirls scolding him. Dumb *SS Master. If he knew that our Liang would get beaten up, why didn't he warn him? Do you know how hard-working our Liang is? How kind and compassionate he is. Among all the celebrities, our Liang is the nicest to his fans. Liang has provided financial support for a poor student in the past. Which other celebrity has ever done that? F*CK this sh*TTY Master, there's no end to his trickery. I've already made a police report. Someone must have ordered people to beat our Liang up. Lin Fan was extremely annoyed. Are these people red right? I didn't warn him. Didn't I already say it on Weibo? And now they're blaming me. How unreasonable. At this moment, Autumn Sword Fish Killer was sitting in front of his computer posting 1,000 comments per minute on Lin Fan's Weibo page. This was even more id*odic than his fans. Then, Autumn Sword Fish Killer let out a sly smile. Regardless of whether this Master Lin is really a dumb *SS, it's unfortunate that he had decided to mess with me. Right now, the number of praises and insults are roughly the same. If I step in, I can definitely tip the scales. However, this is really draining. Just as Autumn Sword Fish Killer was feeling troubled, a client's profile picture popped up. When Autumn Knife Sliced Fish saw the message, his eyes gleamed. Somebody wanted this mess cleaned up. Looks like Yang Xiaoliang's company is finally making its move. Autumn Knife Sliced Fish immediately opened his main troops chat and prepared to embark on his final task. Completely crush Master Lin. Once this task was sent out, the internet trolls started to make their move. In reality, everything was calm and peaceful, but there was a mess on the internet. Master Lin's Weibo exploded. Many celebrities and successful people had noticed Lin Fan because he was trending. Some of these successful people have strong beliefs in fortune-telling. When Master Lin caught their attention on Weibo, they were impressed. Many of them gave orders to track down Master Lin, in hope that he could read their fortune in person. In the hospital, Yang Xiaoliang was lying on his bed looking depressed as if he had never thought that something like this could happen to him. My face, what did the doctor say about it? Yang Xiaoliang's greatest worry right now was his face. Since the beginning, he had relied on his looks to earn his living. If his face was gone, he would be finished. His manager comforted him, Liang, you will be fine. The doctor said that your face won't be disfigured, you just need some time for treatment. This was also a piece of good news to his manager. If Yang Xiaoliang's face was disfigured, his future as a star would be gone. This Yang Xiaoliang had no particular talent or skill, he wasn't good at singing. If you take away his looks, he may as well just be a sandbag. That bodyguard has already been sent to the police station. No matter what, we have to get compensated for this incident. Look, your fans are all rooting for you. The manager took out his phone, opened Weibo, and placed it in front of Yang Xiaoliang. Yang Xiaoliang was initially furious, but upon seeing his fans standing up for him, he was cheered up considerably. Still, he could not forgive this Master Lin. Send out a message, let the internet trolls destroy Master Lin's image. Don't worry, the company is already on it, said the manager, and then as if he just remembered something, he added, Liang, everything that the bodyguard said about his daughter dying, was it really true? Yang Xiaoliang's expression changed slightly for a moment, then he quickly shook his head, those are just lies. That's good. The manager nodded, if there's anything, you have to tell me. Yep, don't worry. You can trust me, Yang Xiaoliang smiled timidly and replied. He then proceeded to post on Weibo. Thank you to my fans for your concern. This tragic incident won't defeat me. The doctor said that I will be fully recovered after a period of treatment. As for that Master Lin, how he predicted what would happen to me is something only he himself will know. Upon posting this message, countless fans instantly replied. Liang, I can rest easy now that I know you're fine. When I saw the photos of you, I was worried sick. Rest well and let your injuries heal, Liang. We will take care of demanding justice for you. Liang will always be the cutest and the kindest in our hearts. Liang, I've already snuck out of my house and boarded the bus to visit you at the hospital. You have to stay strong. Yang Xiaoliang had a large fan base. Compared to the biggest superstars, he was either on par or had even more fans. Yang Xiaoliang smiled as he read those comments. Those fans would really do anything for me, he thought. Aren't these people insulting you? Fraud Tian had no idea what Lin Fan was laughing about. He stood by Lin Fan's side and watched. Yes, they are insulting me, but there are also some people praising me, said Lin Fan cheerily. Damn, you have a really big heart, kid. A whole page full of people flaming you and you can still laugh so happily. Fraud Tian then asked curiously, but what is this? Why are so many people leaving comments here? Fraud, what age are you stuck in? This is Weibo. Even the old folks know about it these days, said Lin Fan. Ah, looks like I'll have to give it a try when I have the chance. But all these people are scolding you, why don't you scold them back? Fraud Tian asked curiously. There are so many people. Would you want to help me to scold all of them? Pass the phone to me. So what if there's a lot of people? All you need is courage. If you have enough courage, you don't have to be afraid no matter how many people there are, said Fraud Tian smugly. Lin Fan gazed at Fraud Tian, then passed the phone to him. Lin Fan thought, go ahead since you're so courageous. There are over 100 comments, have fun scolding them all. Chapter 48. How am I supposed to clean this up? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translation. Something was brewing on Weibo. Lin Fan had become the most controversial internet star on Weibo. Despite this, Lin Fan wasn't bothered. He stood at the door, cheerfully and nonchalantly, inhaling the fresh air. At this moment, Lin Fan's eyes lit up as he saw a familiar face. Not far away, Lu Ziyi was walking down the street with a girl, hands held together. However, he seemed a little worried. Then he realized that perhaps he followed Lin Fan's instructions. Lin Fan read their fortunes with a look at their faces. They were quite suited for one another. There would be a few conflicts in their relationship, but nothing major. In a relationship, occasional quarrels can help to deepen the feelings for one another. However, the girl's expression didn't seem right, she looked hostile. Little did Lin Fan know that this girl had been interrogating Lu Ziyi the whole time. So this is the guy who tricked you, asked Lu Yijie. Yijie, he didn't trick me. Master's predictions are fairly accurate, and the money I paid was willingly given. You're not thinking about demanding the money back, are you? Lu Ziyi said timidly. Tricking people is a skill too. Since he relied on this skill to trick you, of course, I won't ask for the money back, replied Lu Yijie. That's good, so why are we here, asked Lu Ziyi. For you to buy shoes, so you won't look so suspicious anymore, Lu Yijie said. My wife, you're too good to me, Lu Ziyi was touched. When the couple passed by, Lu Ziyi turned to Lin Fan and flashed a smile of gratitude. Lin Fan smiled back. Who knew he was a henpecked husband? Half an hour later. Lin Fan returned to the shop. How is it, Fraud? Lin Fan asked while laughing at Fraud Tian, whose face was red with anger. These brats are too much. If it was in real life, I would teach them a lesson. Fraud Tian was furious. Lin Fan took over the phone and said with a chuckle, I told you that you can't argue with them. You didn't believe me. You've been scolding them until now, just how many people? Lin Fan looked at his phone and was stunned. He raised his head and looked over to Fraud Tian. These were all sent by you. Initially, Lin Fan had only posted a few times using his Weibo account, but now there were over 30 posts by his account. Who else could it be? These brats even said that they would come and find me, but I don't believe them. What can they possibly do to me? Fraud Tian said smugly. Lin Fan scrolled down to read through Fraud Tian's posts and was dumbfounded. I'm at my shop at Shirley Street, it's called Master Lin. Come find me if you dare. Humph, I've traveled all around the country for over 30 years. You think I'd be scared of you? You kids have time to come and scold me on behalf of some idol. Why don't you go and take care of your parents properly instead? Lin Fan's breathing was becoming faster as if something scary was about to happen. When he looked at the comments left by Fraud Tian, he saw the replies below as well, which disturbed him. Wait there for me. How dare you order people to beat our Liang Liang? I'm coming to get you right now. I'm on the bus already. I'm rushing there now. Even if there were more replies, Lin Fan didn't bother to read them all. He took his clothes immediately. Fraud, I'm going to the toilet. You watch the shop. Alright, I'll just take a breather here, said Fraud Tian impatiently. Without hesitation, Lin Fan exited the shop. He hid behind a corner nearby and watched. Bedodum, Fraud, what you brought about yourself, you have to deal with yourself. A bunch of ladies will be coming, I'll leave it to you to handle them. Lin Fan had seen how fangirls behaved since young. They were a frightening bunch, and he wouldn't be surprised if they really came to find him. An hour passed. Lin Fan felt that something wasn't right. Those fans should have been here by now. When he checked his Weibo comments again, he was dumbfounded. King liar. That shop doesn't exist on Shirley Street. Shirley Street. What was that? Was there such a street in Shanghai? Damn. Lin Fan was surprised. Who knew this Fraud Tian was so cunning? He scared me into hiding for a whole hour. This man is so scheming. When Lin Fan returned to the shop, Fraud Tian gazed at him. Why did you spend so long in the toilet? I would have gone to find you if there was someone else here to watch the shop. Hey Fraud, where is this Shirley Street? Asked Lin Fan curiously. Oh, it's a street back in my old village, replied Lin Fan. Did you really think I was stup *d? How could we reveal our location at a time like this? We wouldn't know if there would be some ID *OTS who come looking. When Lin Fan saw that shameless smile on Fraud Tian's face, he wanted to pin him to the ground. On Weibo, Yang Xiaoliang's fangirls and internet trolls had completely invaded Lin Fan's Weibo. The Weibo users who believed in Lin Fan were completely helpless. They were greatly outnumbered. However, just at this moment, another big news came in. Autumn Sword Fish Killer was orchestrating the invasion after he saw the news and trembled with rage. How the *ck am I supposed to clean this up now? Yang Xiaoliang's fangirls also froze when they saw the news. Their heads were in a mess. This can't be, it must be some kind of lie. How could the Liang Liang that we've been protecting all this while be such a person? Yang Xiaoliang's fans had always loved him, for his talents and for his personality, but when the news dropped, their unwavering hearts wavered. Is this still the Liang Liang that we adore? The Weibo community was also stunned when they saw this news. Shames. Despicable. Obscene. Contemptible. Sinister. None of those words were enough to express the rage they felt towards him. In the hospital, The manager had been on Yang Xiaoliang's side the whole time, and Yang Xiaoliang had been able to relax and be carefree. Even though he got beaten up, he gained popularity from this incident. The manager's phone rang. When he answered the call, the phone exploded with noise. Is there something wrong with Yang Xiaoliang? How can he hide something like this from us? You have to let him solve this problem by himself. Boss, what's wrong? The manager was anxious after being shouted at. Look at Weibo yourself. Beep, he had hung up. The manager's face was already pale. When he saw the news on Weibo, his face turned as white as paper. What is it? Did something happen? Yang Xiaoliang asked, smiling. The manager showed Yang Xiaoliang his phone. Yang Xiaoliang was shocked. It can't be. Chapter 49. Let him do it personally. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations. In his strive to become famous, Yang Xiaoliang dumped his pregnant girlfriend. As a result, his girlfriend committed suicide after getting pregnant. This post was really eye-catching. It had 3 million comments within the span of half an hour and it was #1 on the trending list. This can't be true. I'm definitely being framed. Yang Xiaoliang bellowed. He looked at his agent and said, "You have to believe me." Yang Xiaoliang's agent took a look at him and sighed helplessly. The company has made it stand clear. You should settle this by yourself. How can it be? Yang Xiaoliang stared blankly at his agent. This piece of news was credible. Not only did it have detailed descriptions of the incident, it even had photographic evidence. All these pictures were of Yang Xiaoliang and another girl before he became famous. There were a few of these couple photos and some are even in a group setting. Yang Xiaoliang, his bodyguard, and his pregnant girlfriend. It didn't take a genius to figure out that there was no way of denying something like this. Any attempts at trying to defend himself would have been useless. It would just be seen as an insult to the intelligence of the people. In the group of internet trolls, Autumn Sword Fish Killer was ranked second and no one else dared to admit that they were better than him. Autumn Sword Fish Killer jiggled his belly and bellowed as he read this piece of news. URAF** King Scum. Autumn Sword Fish Killer notified his group of internet trolls, saying that if he didn't clear his name sooner, any other attempts would be futile. The internet trolls praised him when Autumn Sword Fish Killer said that. Oh great Autumn Sword brother, I think that it will be very hard to clear his name. Everyone thought that this person was decent. Who would have known that he was like that? Seeing all the praise, Autumn Sword Fish Killer's fat face beamed with happiness. I am indeed the righteous leader of the internet trolls, I can't possibly clear everyone's name whenever there's a scandal. Autumn Sword brother, something has cropped up. The godly troll team is still helping Yang Xiaoliang clear his name, one of the internet trolls reported. Everyone take action. Suppress the godly troll team. Target the bodyguard, and defame Yang Xiaoliang. Autumn Sword Fish Killer ordered. Squad number 1 has received the orders. Time to take action. Squad number 2 has received the orders. Ready to roll out. Lin Fan grinned with interest as he saw what was happening in Weibo. This group of journalists must have been really dedicated to come up with this piece of news. Lin Fan also realized that the fangirls who were scolding him on Weibo had gradually disappeared. The news of their idol's scandal must have been a great shock for them. Master Lin is so cool. This Yang Xiaoliang is so inhumane. I'm sorry Master Lin. I rashly scolded you before. I won't ever defend Yang Xiaoliang again. Master Lin said that there's nothing better than someone changing for the better after realizing her mistake. With the turn of events in Weibo, Lin Fan was extremely happy. He felt the time was nearing for the 3rd page of knowledge in his encyclopedia to be opened. It all depended on the outcome of this situation. Lin Fan deleted Fraud Tian's posts on Weibo and posted on his account. Hi everyone. I made a typo earlier. My fortune-telling shop is located at the following address. Shanghai, Cloud Street, number 8861. The shop name is Master Lin. The post had over 1,000 comments not long after being posted. I've booked my plane tickets. I will be there on time tomorrow. D*MN, changing just one of the words caused an 18,000-mile difference between both locations. I'm already at Shirley Street. Master Lin is in Shanghai, I am too. Wow bless. Master Lin's shop was closer than I expected. I'll look for Master Lin tomorrow. Lin Fan scrolled through his Weibo. He knew that tomorrow was going to be a busy day. However, the task for the second page of knowledge was to become a well-respected fortune-telling master. Lin Fan was afraid that it wouldn't be as easy as he thought. Looking at how things were going in Weibo, it seemed that there were a lot of people who were interested in getting their fortunes read by him, but he hadn't completed the mission yet. It seemed that these enthusiasts weren't revering Lin Fan as a well-respected fortune teller, but were just expressing that Lin Fan's fortune-telling ability was awesome. Lin Fan had to put in more effort to get the people to change their mindsets. The phone rang while Lin Fan was still deep in thought. It was an unknown number and Lin Fan decided to reject the call. There have been a lot of scammers recently. If it wasn't to promote a product, it would be people pretending to be police officers trying to extort money from you. The phone rang again, showing the same unknown number. Rejected. A minute later. A message came. I am Wang Mingyang. I need to ask you for a favor. Just as he received the text message, his phone rang again. What do you want? Lin Fan picked up the phone sourly. How did you get my number? Getting a person's number isn't hard, it's just a simple search on the internet. Wang Mingyang had been busy for the past few days and he was shocked after seeing the news developments of late. What's up? Just don't ask me when you'll strike the lottery. I won't tell you that. Lin Fan was raging on the inside. The last time he let Wang Mingyang win some money, they got into a big fight. If Fraud Tian wasn't by his side to restrain him, he would have beaten him up. A laugh emanated from the phone. I have a friend from overseas who requested that you read his fortune. He has already given me all his birth data. I'll pass it to you later. Can you help me calculate his fortune? Wait a minute, I'm not even that close to you. If he wants his fortune read, he has to come to my shop, Lin Fan said. His location is quite far away. It'd be ridiculous for him to come all the way to Shanghai just to get his fortune read. Furthermore, he's such a busy man and he wouldn't have time to travel. Then I really can't help you with that. My fortune reading can really change the course of a person's life. If he doesn't come to my doorstep personally, he'll lose out on a great opportunity. Anyway, can you pass me his 8 birth characters? Lin Fan let out a laugh after calculating his fortune based on it. He'll regret it if he doesn't come. That's all I have to say. I've got some customers to tend to. I'll hang up first. Lin Fan put down his phone and looked up. There was a young man outside sheepishly observing the interior of the shop before gathering enough courage to approach Fraud Tian. Master Lin. Fraud Tian pointed at Lin Fan. He's over there. The young man looked at Lin Fan and gawked. You're Master Lin. Why? Do I not look like one? Lin Fan asked calmly. No, no. It's just that you're really young. Anyway, nice to meet you. I've been following you on Weibo for quite some time, and I really admire you. Luong Xing was overjoyed. He finally got to see Master Lin in person. Luong Xing studied in a high school nearby. He absolutely revered and adored Master Lin's fortune readings, treating him as if he was a god. Luong Xing was nearing his graduation and he had received an interview offer from a company. He was extremely anxious as the company was ranked as top 500 in the world. After finding out Master Lin's address, he immediately came over to get his fortune read. Master Lin, I would like to get a fortune reading. My friend and I received an interview offer from a company which is going to take place in 3 days' time. Can I ask if I'll get the job? Luong Xing asked curiously. Chapter 50. I gotta take some pride. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Sparrow Translations Editor. Sparrow Translations at a random corporate office in Shanghai. Wang Mingyang was helplessly smiling to himself. He wasn't angry because of Lin Fan's incident, but he felt that Lin Fan would definitely remember this for a long time. But after all, he himself got beaten up as well. They haven't had much interaction after befriending each other, and Wang Mingyang thought about treating Lin Fan to a meal. At the same time, they could have a chat to strengthen their friendship. Mr. Wu, I'm sorry. Master Lin has a new set of rules, and in order for him to read your fortune, he requires you to go down personally, Wang Mingyang said. Wu Yungang was an old and successful entrepreneur come CEO. He was based in the country's capital and his net worth was in billions. He was extremely wealthy, but it was still something he couldn't fully control. Mr. Wang, did you tell him my identity? Mr. Wu said monotonously through the phone, with a hint of surprise and disbelief. Wang Mingyang lay down on his seat made from quality leather and laughed. He then said, Brother Wu, he is my friend. If I were to tell him about your identity and status, wouldn't it be a little awkward for a friend like me? Do you want to come to Shanghai? My friend is extremely accurate with his fortune telling. I believe you've read about it before. Nah, it's okay. It's merely just a fortune reading session that I can do without. Previously, I heard that you've received extremely good advice from him and now you're doing well. I would like to just tap on your good luck, Wu Yungang casually said, but his tone sounded a little angry. When Wang Mingyang heard the way he spoke to him, he was a little unhappy. He said, my friend already said that you'll definitely regret if you don't come and have a look. Regret? Brother Wang, Wu Yungang, have never regretted any of my decisions. You shouldn't trust these things too much in future. I'm hanging up. Wu Yungang laughed sheepishly and said. After hanging up the phone. Hey, it's fine if he doesn't believe me. I wonder what would exactly happen to him, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Master Lin, you mean I should only go for the interview on the last day? Luong Xing asked curiously. Lin Fan just nodded. He just looked at his career prospects and he was bound to have bad luck for the coming 2 days. He wouldn't be successful in whatever that he was going to do, especially for something major like an interview. But Luong Xing was predicted to be pretty lucky on the third and last day of the interviews, and he would likely be successful in the things that he does. That's right, you are destined to have good fortune on the last day. The success rate would be the highest. Lin Fan said. If I were to go for the interview during the first 2 days, does it mean that I would definitely fail it? The interview was extremely important to Luong Xing and he had to clarify things before he made a decision. Yeah, it would be the best for you go on the last day, Lin Fan said. Luong Xing trusted Lin Fan a lot and he just nodded at his words. Then he suddenly said, Master Lin, I have a friend that's supposed to go for the interview with me. Are you able to read his fortune too? This is his picture. Luong Xing took out his friend's curriculum vitae, CV, from his bag. His friend's picture was attached on top of it. Lin Fan took a glance at it and he was pretty interested. Luong Xing's classmate had a similar fortune reading as him. He would be extremely unlucky on the first 2 days of the interview. This type of situation wasn't common. After thinking about it further, he believed in Lin Fan even more. Nowadays, many schools were built on lands that used to be cemeteries. One has to be lucky enough to suppress the negativity. Naturally, there were different levels of negativity in various parts of the school. Those places that are more unlucky would cause one to be more unfortunate. After further fortune-telling, he realized that the school hostel that Luong Xing was living in was a place with the highest amount negative energy in the school. Whether he would be fortunate or not, it would depend on his luck as the levels of misfortune would vary. Your classmate is the same as you. He should go on the last day with you, Lin Fan said. Thank you, Master, Luong Xing said sincerely to Lin Fan as he really believed his words. When Luong Xing had left, Lin Fan quickly stuffed the 2 red dollar bills into his pocket and thought to himself that it was easy money. Was the person on the phone earlier Millionaire Wang? Fraud Tian asked as he was lying down on the table. Yes, Lin Fan said and nodded. He wanted me to help his friend with fortune reading but I rejected him. Fraud Tian was the first person to call him Millionaire Wang as he thought of the $1 million that flew away. He then heaved a sigh of sadness. Then, Fraud Tian regretfully said, "It was such a large sum of money, why didn't you agree to it?" Lin Fan frowned and asked, "What kind of person am I?" "You're a divine teller," Fraud Tian said as he was full of admiration for Lin Fan. Everything that he had predicted was so accurate, it was as if like he was a living god. "That doesn't mean I can just take his money. I am a divine fortune-teller and I have to take some pride in that. He didn't even come personally for me to fortune read for him. Isn't that disrespectful to me? It's like my status has been lowered," Lin Fan said. "That's true, what we do here can't be measured by money and we have to be proud of what we're doing," Fraud Tian said as he nodded in agreement. But Fraud Tian still helplessly shook his head and said, "Anyway the money's still gone." Lin Fan was speechless. At a random university. Luong Xing was extremely nervous. He didn't expect the Master Lin that went viral on Weibo was actually so close to his school. Furthermore, he approached him for a session of fortune-telling and Master Lin was also confident that he would do well. This boosted his confidence tremendously. Meanwhile, back at the hostel. Luong Xing saw that his classmate, Su Haojia was looking at the interview preparation materials for that particular company. "Haojia, I'm back. I've printed our curriculum vitae, CV. Do you know who I went to look for?" Luong Xing smiled and asked. "Who?" Su Haojia asked without even looking at Luong Xing as he continued to focus on the screen. "It's Master Lin." Luong Xing exclaimed. He felt that he was extremely lucky to have just paid $200 for Master Lin's insight. From Luong Xing's point of view, Master Lin was really famous. If he were to look for him again in future, it would be even harder and perhaps he might not even be able to afford the fees. "Who is Master Lin?" Su Haojia asked. "What the, you don't even know Master Lin? He's the viral fortune-teller on Weibo and he's predicted many things which had come true. Anyway, that's not surprising since you're not interested in Weibo," Luong Xin said excitedly. Su Haojia made a random sound to acknowledge Luong Xing's words and then he said, "I hope tomorrow's interview would be a success." "No, don't go tomorrow. I have helped you to ask for Master Lin's advice as well. We would be unlucky for the first 2 days and it's best to go on the last day to have the highest chance of success," Luong Xing said. Su Haojia wasn't a believer of such things and he said, "I don't believe in that. I have taken a look through the company's sample interview questions, I am confident that I'll succeed. Furthermore, going for the interview on the last day would leave a bad impression on us." "Haojia, you have to believe me. Master Lin is really accurate," Luong Xing anxiously said. "Don't believe in such things. What era are we in now and you still believe in this? It would be the same interview any day of the week. Anyway, I'm going for the interview tomorrow. If you believe his words, go on the last day then." Su Haojia wasn't going to take his words seriously as he felt that it was just a scam. Luong Xing felt really helpless as he trusted Master Lin a lot but Haojia wasn't a believer of such things. Furthermore, he was so stubborn about it and there was nothing he could have done to change his mind.